Well, it's your topic, kiddo, so you got to kick us off.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah, I've been recording the whole time. So.
All right.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Hello and welcome to On the Topic of Doomsday Scenarios.
Hell yeah.
I am one of your hosts, Elaine. I'm going to be leading us this week. And as always, I am joined by Az and
Hello.
Logan.
Yeah.
Are you guys
Yeah.
super excited to talk,
Hell yeah.
Oh, of
talk about
course.
Doomsday?
I have no desire to live in this world anymore. Let's go.
Yeah, cool. Okay, then we might be on the same opinion of some things because I really have like strong opinions about doomsdays and doomsday preppers, and we'll get to it all. But like, I guess like first to kind of set us up, I am just kind of curious without getting like too deep into today's world because I don't want this to be a depressing, super depressing talk. As least as doomsday can be depressing. Like, did that make any sense? But like, what do we think the most likely doomsday scenario is? Like, is it something natural or is it man-made? Because right off the bat for me, I think one of the most likely doomsday scenarios is another global pandemic. Not to talk about COVID-19, but like a global pandemic, natural or man-made. Like seems most likely to me. Also nuclear war, but also
Yeah.
I think the most talked about doomsday scenario, especially with the rise of AI, is a robot takeover. But like, in your opinions, what is the most likely doomsday scenarios and why? I want to know.
I'm pretty sure it's environmental collapse.
Okay.
Basically, as we get more into things like AI and heavy machine driven things, power consumption goes up, and we have done fuck all to develop real power sources that are clean. And so instead of, taking the time and money to actually develop these technologies or not to get too dour on this, but not to put insane amounts of money in the oil and coal lobbies' pockets, because that's the reason we don't do any of that shit, because it's all about money. It always is. That's going to be the thing, because we're going to keep our power consumption is only going to go up as a society. And if we don't have the ability to harness forms of energy that are renewable and clean, we're just going to decrease the amount of clock we have between today and full environmental collapse. So I'm pretty sure it's environmental collapse.
Yeah, AI is like so bad for the environment. Like we're already like pushing the limits of like the carrying capacity of like our Earth as is, and then it's like when you add just like the amount, like insane amounts of energy consumption without increasing like the population, it's just crazy because the population's just going to grow and the energy consumption is like on a multiplier rather than just like
it's
steady
weird.
growth. It's
weird that the best thing that could possibly happen for the Earth and like the longevity of the human race is if a massive solar flare destroyed the power grid of the United States. That would actually be the best thing, because then it would have to be rebuilt.
So as the dumb person in this group, obviously you're both well educated. So how does AI increase power consumption? That's what I don't understand. What's the situation behind that? What's the science behind that?
Okay. Think about it this way. You have your computer running right now. It's running. I'll actually I'll use mine as an example because it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So currently, my show, you piece of shit. It doesn't want to. It wants to hide from me. Okay. So I'm currently using 16% of the load on my processor, on my personal computer right now. And I'm using 16% of my GPU load, and that's using X amount of power, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I were to run or to host an AI, what's the best way to put this? If I were hosting an AI engine on my computer right now, like a private ChatGPT server or whatever it is, both of those values would spike considerably and use more power. Now, if you multiply that out, and more people doing those exact same things, it keeps putting more and more strains on power grids. Power grids are finite. Power does not come from an infinite source. It comes from whatever feeds into the grids, depending on what those things are. There's some hydroelectric, there's very little solar, there's some wind, but most of it is coal and oil or natural gas, right? And so as people keep using more of those resources, and again, it's not the individual users as much that are causing like a ton of push and pull. It's the servers that have the most horrifying consequences. And so but the individual users are the ones that are sending all of the information to those servers that require them to be running at capacity as frequently as they are. So as time goes on, that also builds up a ton of extra data centers for the transfer of data, and also more power is needed to to power the data centers, which takes over land that is, they clear cut forests. In the case of Iowa, they take away farmland, which isn't the worst thing, because it was 110 degrees while I was golfing because of literally corn sweat, because of the humid dome that corn creates. It's fucked. And so
I thought you said it's 110 Fahrenheit or whatever it was because of corn sweat, like David Corn Sweat, Superman. And I was like, that tracks, because that man is...
No, he gets me a little sweaty. Don't get me wrong.
You said corn sweat, as in...
Yes.
Corn.
That's hilarious.
Yes. And so, and that's basically how that all kind of ends up playing out down the chain. And that's kind of what causes the issues. But we're going to have a reckoning sooner rather than later when it comes to that stuff. And hopefully, the good part about AI, because it could just lead to the robot overlords that just wipe out humanity. And I'm okay with that. Totally co-signing that.
Skynet.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, give me Skynet. We're good. I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. But the only good thing that can really come of it is that it will force more green and more efficient energy consumption because these companies are going to go, okay, I understand coal lobby, I understand gas lobby, you need your money, but we need our money too, and you can no longer make us our money. So fuck off. We have the smart people. We're going to use the smart people to do the thing. That's the best thing that could happen. I'm not sure it will happen, but that is literally the best outcome possible. Yeah.
I think AI is projected to double our energy consumption in the next 5 years, which is crazy. So yeah, I feel like when people talk about AI, I mentioned it being one of the most talked about doomsday scenarios is the robot takeover. But I do agree that I think we would see an environmental collapse from the robots before we actually saw the robots take over. Yeah. Anyway, a deep dive into AI.
Yeah. The thing that used to scare me as a kid growing up, because I've watched a lot of doomsday films and doomsday scenario films, right? The one that scares me the most is environmental to a certain degree, but it's weather based. Like the films like the day after tomorrow, like melting polar ice caps that cause huge tidal waves that consume cities, and then it all freezes over and all that sort of stuff. That's the stuff that scares me the most, because there is nothing you can really do to prevent nature if it takes its course. No. So that's the stuff that scares me the most, is that sort of stuff, really.
Yeah, Mother Nature's undefeated, man.
Yeah.
You're not winning.
No.
I find it really interesting and surprising that you both gave nature-based scenarios. It's as you said, you find that the most scariest of all the doomsday scenarios.
Oh yeah.
And although I'm not sure environmental collapse, I would say is a natural doomsday scenario.
It's not.
I think it's a man-made thing, but I don't know. I think it's interesting. Natural disasters are scary as fuck.
Oh yeah.
I live where tornadoes happen. A lot. So yeah.
I've only ever had to be in a tornado one time.
Sucks.
And it was scary.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I
I've never experienced any of that sort of weather stuff at all. I guess you guys have to a certain degree. That's why it scares me more, because in the UK it's just wind and a bit of rain every now and again, and when it's sunny, it's sunny. But you guys have a bit of everything. So,
well, tornadoes are like an America thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tornadoes don't happen like in other places.
No. And I live in a place, so because of the way that where I live is situated on the plains, there's really not a lot of natural breaks, right? And so we have these things called derechos. What a derecho is just a hurricane that happens inland. So 100-mile-an-hour straight line winds and intense torrential downpours of rain. Trees get uprooted, shit gets tossed around, and they're massive. They're very, very big. They just don't last as long as a hurricane. So, because a hurricane coming over the top of you is there for, a day. And a derecho usually is blowing through over the course of a few hours, and it's done. But then the destruction is everywhere. And since it's sort of old, a lot of Iowa specifically is old. So a lot of our power lines and things like that are above ground, which is stupid as fuck. Like, Jesus H. Christ. Dumb as fuck. And yet, so whenever something like that happens, it just knocks out power to everybody.
Yeah. That
is on those above ground lines. The last time a tornado touched down around here, it just decided to mow over one of the power stations. And so I was out of power for 2 days because nope. And during the last derecho we had, with like the really bad one, it took out some of my fence and stuff like that. But the worst part was there was no power here for 5 days.
So people in your area then, I guess people in your area would have doomsday plans prepped most of the time?
Oh yeah. We know what's up. We know what to do.
Big basements and stores and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we have huge basements. You have to, because that's how you survive a tornado. Is you go into your basements, because if it takes the house, then you're fine.
Yeah.
That's what's scary about tornadoes in Louisiana. We literally cannot have basements.
Right, because they're marshland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you hit water when you dig in your yard. Like you can't go any deeper. But our houses are actually elevated off the ground because of the marshlands.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
But I mean,
also the foundations are like on stilts, are they, or something? Like.
Yeah, like a lot of houses are usually like raised at least a little bit, but the closer you get to the shore, houses are like 15, 20 feet off the ground, like on stilts, literally, because of hurricanes, destructions, which is constantly, I mean, a huge thing. I mean, like, I remember Katrina, just like devastating. Growing up, seeing like so many natural disasters is definitely what pushed me into the realm of environmental science that I'm in now, like climate science and stuff, because it's a bit terrifying. And I definitely
no, absolutely
thinking about doomsdays, but tsunamis were always the scariest to me.
Oh Jesus, that's terrifying.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, like. A tsunami is so scary
because you can't do anything.
Yeah, you just literally can't. It's just
it's the foreboding nature of the wave incoming, and that you're such a tiny little dot in comparison to that thing. It's just there's nothing you can do. It's horrendous.
And
really.
like, I love the ocean. I literally like try to make a career out of it. Like, I love the ocean, but I think I am so fascinated by the ocean because I am so scared of it. The ocean is like fucking terrifying.
Oh yeah, different planet down there.
The idea that there's just like the ocean is just like actually attacking us safe on land, just like a giant ocean wave. Like, that's so scary. Ooh. It's really terrifying.
Facebook Reels feeds me some horrendous thalassophobia shit all the time. I'm just petrified of it. Just like these shots of being in an open sea, and then suddenly you dive underwater, and then there's this fucking huge fish coming up at you from below, and I'm just like, no thanks, no thanks, get out of here. Oh man,
you watch those videos of like. Sorry, go.
Yeah, I hate.
No,
I hate the
you
sea.
talk. Okay, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I hate the sea, but it's interesting that the polarity. You love the sea, I hate the sea. You know, it's
But we're all
just-
scared of it.
It's a scary, yeah, exactly.
We're all scared of it.
It's a scary
Yeah,
force.
we're all scared of it. Love it or hate it, we're all scared of it. Like I like those videos of like the ominous music of like the boats going through the Drake Passage, and they're just like getting
Oh yeah.
welted
Yeah,
by these huge
destroyed.
waves that are just like. But the boat keeps going, and it's like this wave just engulfed this boat, and the boat's like gonna pop up and keep going. Those like make my heart stop. They're so scary.
Oh yeah.
Holding my breath.
Yeah.
Okay. So all these doomsday scenarios, terrifying. No matter which one happens, if any of them happen, if any of them don't, some people are doomsday preppers, doomsday preparers, have a doomsday plan in place. I personally, not for anyone else, but for myself, I'm an anti-doomsday prepper. Like my doomsday plan is to die day 0 as fast as possible. I'm not joking. Like people always ask, like, what would you do if the zombie apocalypse happened? Like if I woke up, I open my phone and I see the zombie apocalypse happen, the only thing I'm doing is getting out of bed to open my windows and open my front door. And then I'm going back to bed, and like, what happens after that is what happens after that. But like, I don't, I don't have the fight in me. All my friends are always like, no, like, we'll come save you, and then we'll live through the zombie apocalypse together. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. So, all right, I'm curious to know if you guys are also doomsday preppers. What's your opinion on doomsday preppers? Do you have a doomsday plan? If you do, I want to know what it is.
So with me, I have zero desire to live through an apocalypse. Like,
Thank you.
I'm good. It's I also have this problem where I really don't have, the only real fear I have is being trapped inside my own body, right? And so if it's a zombie apocalypse specifically, I don't want to ever risk that I am somewhat conscious as a zombie, but can't control my own actions.
Yeah.
Like I'm out. No.
Yeah. Surrender.
So yeah, if it was a zombie apocalypse, my plan is easy. I have a 12 gauge, I have 240 rounds, and I have a roof, and I have a ton of booze. So I'm going to go sit on my roof with a ton of booze and pick off zombies until I have one shell left, and then that one's for me, and that's it. I'm going to play shooting gallery and get hammered, and then end it because I have no desire to try to live through this. Zero. And and it's kind of the same thing with other stuff too. It's like, if it's like feasible, again, living in the center of a giant landmass makes it so that some of these things I'm more likely to live through.
Yeah.
Right. A tidal wave smashing one of the seaboards, it's gonna like, or tectonic plates shifting, it's going to fuck up a lot of stuff. It might make it so I have beachfront property all of a sudden. But the odds of it doing anything directly to us as far as that goes, I mean, like, obviously our power grid, everything else is dead, and that sucks. And we're probably going to starve to death, which again, bullets are here. That kind of thing. Actually, we're in Iowa. We're not going to starve to death either. But the whole, like, that entire thing is like, that's somewhat safe here when it comes to that. And it's also very easy to just drive north, drive wherever, to get out of it. Like, that's all stuff that's there. But if it's like the odds of survival are minimal, and even if you do survive, existence is going to be hell. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
But but is existence not already hell anyway?
I'm more hell.
More hell.
More hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Additional hell.
Yeah, like I survived COVID-19, and that was rough enough. That was as close to surviving a doomsday scenario as I want to ever get in life. Also, listening to you talk has made me realize that, thank God, I'm like an anti-doomsday prepper for myself, because I live in New York City.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, yeah, we have all these things, and I'm like, wow, I don't even own a car. Like, well, how am I getting out of here? Like,
No, you live in a Target. Like,
yeah, I live in
you
a
are
Target.
literally
Like,
a target for everything.
if something happens, it's happening here. Yeah. And I don't even have a car to get away from it if I wanted to.
So why bother?
So why bother? So it's a good thing I have this attitude. What about you, Az?
I don't know. I think if you go really really deep into it, like the first thing I would think of is family and friends, like what's happening to them, like immediately when this is all happening, and my instinct would be to try and protect what I could to a certain degree. But then when you do that, and all the hope starts disintegrating around you, it would just be pure trauma, wouldn't it? Like all the time. So it would be easier to end it and not carry on. But I think instinctively to begin with, it would be about trying to find everybody that you once or still know and love and make sure they're okay. But a lot of them won't be, it'll be a very hard scenario to try and dissect and get through, especially depending on what the scenario was as well. If you think of 28 Days Later or zombie apocalypse, people that you know and love would be viscerally killed and stuff, and you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So that would just be absolutely horrifying to go through. But yeah, it's quite hard to talk about actually when you try and get down into the deep nitty gritty of it. What would you do in that situation? If it's just like a tidal wave hits and luckily the people that you know are okay, what's the next step then? But if society is actually just literally all falling apart and it's just pure chaos, there's a lot of scenarios that you'd have to go through as to, is it worth it then? Is it worth it to try and survive, or is it just worth chucking this 12 gauge? Not only to me, but do I use the bullets on somebody else that I don't want to go through? It's that I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether you've seen The Mist. Have you seen The Mist? Stephen King film, where that bloke, the bloke at the very end, spoiler alert, has a limited amount of bullets in his gun. He shoots his entire family and then doesn't have enough for himself. And he then the twist is, after he's killed all of his family, the apocalypse just disappears. All the soldiers come to save the day, and he's the only one left, and he's killed everybody that he loves. And suddenly, he's just like the anguish. That ending is probably one of the best endings of a horror film I've ever seen. But yeah, I'm just rambling now.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a lot of nuance to these things, I think. But I think my initial instinct would be, are my family and friends going to be okay? If they're not, what do I do now? Is it worth it? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
Ugh, that's like actual nightmare fuel.
oh yeah,
It is, right?
Yeah, that's like actual like nightmare scenario, nightmare fuel. My family, I should say, I'm like the only one in my family who feels this way. That's like, nah, if some sort of doomsday apocalypse happens, like I cannot even comprehend the desire to want to live through it. Like, and
Yeah.
it's not that I don't love my life, but I just like, no, that sounds
Just
like I
you.
said.
yeah,
Yeah, awful. No. And they're like, well, we're gonna come get you, and like, they have like a place where it's like we're all gonna go here if something happens, and I'm like,
But
sorry.
yeah, I guess then what is life after that? Really, that's just the thing, isn't it? So
well,
yeah,
that is like perfect segue to my next kind of prepared question, which was like, is surviving an apocalypse really winning? Because it seems like just prolonged suffering to me, and also like too much responsibility. This is the debate I get into with people, because they're like, yeah, my competitive side will come out and I'm going to be like, I have to win. I have to like, be the badass, fight my way through this. And without even the idea of like it's prolonged suffering, most of the people that probably didn't survive it. You probably need a lot of therapists, and there's no nice therapist office you can go to with like a plant and a couch. Like, it's just not an option. You just gotta like keep powering through. I saw your face, Logan.
Plant on a couch?
Yeah, like, that's like ideal therapist office is like there's plants and there's like couch you can lay on. That's how my therapy is anyway.
You can tell I've never been in therapy.
But also like it's so much the thing, even without all that for me, because that's like insane amounts of tragedy. But even without all the tragedy, on top of that, like of the few people who survived, probably you're one of them, which means you now have the responsibility of rebuilding civilization and society, and just like rebuilding the world that was left after all the chaos. And like that is what really gets me. And that's like I don't understand. Is surviving an apocalypse really winning? I don't think it is.
I don't. So there's a couple of things. Like if we're talking about the pure de-evolution, de-evolvement of society,
Yeah.
It's unlikely that good actors are going to exist. People are going to devolve to their baser instincts, which is survive at any cost, and that cost is usually other human beings.
Yeah.
I take some comfort in knowing that I would never be that person. I would definitely be the type that if I were in a scenario that I would protect, but I would never actively take. I would rather die than cause somebody else's death. But that's how I feel. And I think when it comes to all of this, it's mind-numbing with all, you describe the trauma and how people are not designed to compartmentalize that fucking much. They're not designed to see that much. You look at soldiers, you look at when they come back from wars, and they're not able to handle a lot of times without significant amounts of therapy or anything else. And even then, sometimes not what they've seen. And this is just worse. Like we're on a bigger scale because this isn't war. This isn't something that, somebody in authority has told you is justified behavior. Instead, this is literally every man for them and woman and child and everybody else for themselves. I have no desire to be any part of that type of society.
Right.
Additionally, not to get all wise the last man on this, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that comic book, but the premise is that there's a disease that wipes out the Y chromosome. And so men die in droves. And there's one guy who's literally the last man on Earth because for some reason he didn't die. And now the remnants of society are chasing him down to be their fucking brood mare, basically to just be nothing but a cum pump to fuel the restarting of society. And I think that would be great amounts of fun for about 2 days.
Yeah.
And then there's not enough salve in this world, much less a post-apocalyptic one, to keep the rug burn off your junk from just having to keep going. I mean, come on. But ultimately, like the restarting of society and everything else, it's just like, that's a lot of burden. That's a lot of weight, right? And I make no bones about the fact that one, I'm no Boy Scout. But two, I think I know where my limits are as far as, what can I handle? How well can I adapt? How well can I lead? And I can't. Like this isn't something for me. This was, maybe 25 years ago when I was, a spry 20-year-old that thought he knew everything. But it ain't now. And I really don't ever want to see that. It's terrifying. Yeah. But at the same time, being comfortable with knowing that you don't really have a place in that world is also comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like an argument that I make a lot of times that people don't relate to. That I'm like, I feel like if you have such a drive to be the person who survives an apocalypse, like to be the person who wins, like I don't really think that's winning. I feel like it's just like some type of like you're stroking your ego in some way. To if you really want to be the person who comes out on top after an apocalypse, then like to me you're really just in some way that seems like a massive like ego stroke, which I'm sure it is. But then I don't really want those people to be the like I don't want to live in a civilization where those people are the people rebuilding it. Like, because like you said, like it doesn't seem like if you're going to be the person to survive an apocalypse, it doesn't seem like you're going to be. You have to do a lot of bad things to get through it. And you have to be like really like selfish and put your like. It's just not the type of people I think that should be running a society I would live in.
They already are.
Like
we already live in that society.
It's well, exactly, but it like. times like a million.
Right.
I don't want to. It just sounds awful to me. I just actually don't understand the appeal of surviving an apocalypse.
Yeah, and if you have to be the leader as well in that situation, you will have to just not care about morals at all. Like there's loads of TV shows and media out there, like The Walking Dead, for instance. You know, there's loads of different contingents in that series, like Rick Grimes and his group, and then Negan, who basically kills people with a nail bat to prove an example. But even the main protagonist, Rick Grimes, has to go through shooting people and killing people that he might not necessarily want to do.
He's also a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he's also an idiot. But yeah, these different groups and different leaders and different things would still pop up as well. And yeah, it would be difficult to try and lead a group, even if your intentions were good to begin with. There will be some things that you'd have to go through, and yeah, is it worth it in a scenario like that? Yeah, I don't know, honestly. But
I mean, I think that in our current society, you have to be a sociopath to be a world leader. Like, full stop. You have to be a fucking sociopath. You have to just not give a shit about right or wrong or anything else. You need to just be a singular focus on how this all works out. And that's how you have to lead to be a world leader in our current environment.
Sadly, yeah.
Think of that being worse.
Yeah.
Like, oof.
Yeah. No, I talk about that all the time too. When people are like, I complain about politics, and then people are like, well, you go into it. And I'm like, nah, because I know myself well enough, and I feel like I understand the type of person you have to be a politician well enough to know that I'd come out just as grimy as those guys. Like, I don't think of myself too good to not fall to that. Like, I'd
be assassinated.
Well, fuck, I guess. I don't know. But even like even despite all of this, how awful it sounds, how much we all hate it, how much of it's just like nightmare fuel, your worst fears. Like, I still enjoy consuming post-apocalyptic media.
Oh yeah.
Content. Like, I still love the dystopian post-apocalyptic media and content.
Absolutely.
Do you also?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you have favorites?
To be truly post-apocalyptic, I think Terminator is probably it. Like, not Terminator 2, not the super action movie part of it. I'm a hard sci-fi guy. I'm not an action sci-fi guy. And so I love Alien. Aliens is good. I love Alien. I love Terminator. Terminator 2 is fine. I enjoy it. I love Terminator. I love that pure dystopian feel.
Yeah.
And I would say that probably my favorite just pure dystopian movie is either Terminator or the original Omega Man with Vincent Price. That might be it too. That one's incredible.
Oh, I haven't seen that, but I love Vincent Price.
Have you ever seen I Am Legend?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With Will Smith? That's what it's based on.
Yeah.
The same.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I love Vincent
not the
Price,
same, but Vincent Price is great. Yeah. Roger Corman and Vincent Price are like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, well, for me, a lot of media which depicts Doomsday stuff has all been zombie related, like what I've grown up with. But then I mentioned things like Day After Tomorrow, things like Armageddon and Deep Impact as well were big things for me. Anything with
porn or oh, okay,
maybe both. No, I don't know. But yeah, anything with big meteors crashing down is also I love that sort of media. But yeah, zombie films and 28 Days Later and all that sort of thing really, really just throw that Doomsday up a massive notch, because you got the societal collapse around you, as well as what you would do and how other aspects of humanity would interact with each other, as we've just discussed. Really, that is all really, really interesting to me. And whether there would be, because I'm quite a hopeful person, obviously I'd speak about Superman a lot. Is there any hope to try and survive through these things? Is there hope in a situation like that? Probably not most of the time. Could I be someone that tries to survive and instill that hope upon other groups of people who are lost and stuff? Probably to a certain degree, but then you'd have to cross that moral line, like I was saying about Rick Grimes, where you have to make a decision for the people that you're leading, and then you're suddenly not the person you are anymore. So there's loads of different things that go along with a doomsday scenario, but I think the zombie apocalypse side of things makes me think the most, because it's the most visceral. People die in the most horrific ways. Humanity has to band together to then survive. It's very, very down to the relationships of the people that do still survive. Can you keep them alive? Can you not? They die. You see it. You witness it. You're like, oh fucking hell! This is worth it? I'm gonna I'm gonna shoot myself.
Fucking hell!
Fuck this. You know. So. But as a kid, you know, and stuff, me and my mates would all sit around a table and be like, oh, right, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive?
What will we do?
How are we going to survive this zombie apocalypse? What we're going to do if we see a zombie outside when we wake up in the morning, we're all going to go around Mike's house and we're going to go in the basement and make these weapons. And it's not as fantasized, and it's not going to be like that if it ever did happen.
Shaun of the Dead is where we're going with
all
this.
Go down to the Winchester, have a pint and wait for all this to blow over. How's that for a slice of fried gold? But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I was just ranting again because this is obviously
I loved it.
Topic that we that is a pretty cool one. So yeah.
No, I loved it. It was great. Yeah, I feel like I never I was into like the Walking Dead type of like zombie, except like I don't know, like Zombieland, but that's like not really.
No, Zombieland's like, hilarious.
Yeah, that's just like a funny movie. But like zombie media, I was like big into like a lot of dystopian like teen like literature when I was a teenager, and I will say like The Hunger Games is one that is still in my adult life. I have like rewatched those movies. I'm excited about the new movie. The new book was fantastic, but like it presents like, and I just like reread the series recently, which like maybe is why I got on this topic, but like it presents so many like moral questions that you're really digging into, and I think that's like part of the appeal of the dystopian doomsday scenario is like there's so many moral dilemmas that go into it, and it's like it's really fucked up. Also, it's really fucked up. It is really fucked up, but that's what makes it like, you know, as humans, like we can't deny that we are into fucked up things sometimes. Like the same reason you can't look away from a car crash, right? It's like
or tentacle porn.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
anyway,
speak for yourself.
I'm not. I'm speaking for like Amazon readers because I see some of the weirdest shit on like Amazon book lists, and it's like my mate came from the deep, and it's like, oh, this is about somebody that fucks a kraken. That's cool, I guess.
I watched a film about that. Sort of like it was The Shape of Water. Guillermo.
That is Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. That does count.
Yeah,
that does count as Kraken fucking. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna piss really quick because I've been consuming water to like refresh myself.
Yeah, sure.
As I am dying right now.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Because you know, playing golf at 110 degrees was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is a really good topic. Good choice.
I thought it'd be fun to talk about. I love talking about this shit.
Yeah.
I was kind of like going back and forth between a lot of topics and was like, which one? And then I was like, oh, fuck it. Let's just go full on doomsday because we'll get to the other topics eventually anyway.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So we're going to talk about all manner of different things. I'll tell you what I also liked as well. We can just keep this recording. Why not? Alien invasion films like Independence Day, War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Have you seen War of the Worlds or Independence Day? Have you seen any of those?
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't seen War of the Worlds. I've seen Independence Day. Yeah. I feel like alien invasion could be a topic on its own. It's like there's so much to get into there.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I love the fact that with the alien invasion Independence Day sort of situation, they see like all of these different flying saucers like hovering over different cities in the world. So you got Tokyo, Istanbul, London, New York, and
New York,
and then all the major linchpins of the world are basically something is going to happen. They're all sort of maneuvering around the chessboard, and then suddenly we see the big beam of light hit the White House and hit New York and all the other places around the world. And it's like, in that situation, would the world, despite their differences, despite what sort of political spectrum you're part of or whatever, would the world at that point have to unite to face a common or bigger enemy? That would be another interesting question, is if we were ever confronted by something like that, would the world have to get over all of the political, religious differences and actually fight something as a unit rather than just having these little pockets? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought about like questions like that too, but I was like, try not to get too political.
My wife is
with talking
doting
about
because
doomsday.
she's like, you have not consumed enough liquid. You're going to die. You must consume Gatorade. Here are calories. And it's like, whatever.
I'll do.
I guess.
Yeah,
I have my Gatorade.
I was just saying to Elaine, obviously, Doomsday Scenarios. We've got Alien Invasion movies as well, Independence Day, War of the Worlds, that sort of thing. And one of the questions, Battlefield Earth, yeah.
Terrible
movie, but still same premise. What one of the sort of ideas, because we're just going to keep filming.
Whatever.
Fuck it. One of the questions I was posing was, in Independence Day, you see all the flying saucers go to different linchpins of the world, like Tokyo, London, New York, Istanbul, whatever. And the question is, like, would humanity, if they saw something like that or had to go through like the big beams of light hitting each city, would it be a case where the humanity would have to actually pull together to face the common enemy, like Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen? He kills, or it's the whole thing is staged ultimately, but
Ozymandias he just stages it because he needs the world to not nuke itself.
Yeah, exactly. So would that be something that would happen? With the whole world coming together to try and face a bigger threat? It's another question I wanted to pose, but it's a difficult one.
I don't. Go ahead, Elaine. This take me a minute.
I feel like we would play. I feel like if I feel like maybe, but I feel like the initial reaction would be to play the blamed game. Like, okay, like who did anyone have insider knowledge? Like, why if some areas affected worse than others, like why is that happening? I feel like it would really get into the blame game initially. Like maybe we would,
but we would hope in that
eventually have to come together. But also I think that not to get whatever, but like I do think it would also just be a huge social justice issue. I think that a lot of areas of the world would be left behind and overlooked.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I don't hold much faith in humanity. I have a ton of faith in individuals. I don't have much faith in people.
Yeah.
And, there's been numerous experiments that as people gather in groups, they become worse people. And I mean, the larger groups, like obviously if you take a bunch of people, like you take the three of us and then you sprinkle in a few others, that's a still fairly reliable group, right? Like even though there's more people, it isn't necessarily making the whole worse. But as you keep adding, eventually you end up in a spot where there's enough poisonous influence that it begins to leave through the group. And then suddenly the group is worse than the people in it.
Yeah.
And I think that is largely humanity nowadays. We have... And I blame social media for all of this, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Go back to the 90s, please. Back to the 90s.
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, so if you think about social media, it gave the ability for people of the worst possible worldviews to find each other and create these monstrous echo chambers that became grounds of pollution for a lot of people. Think about disinformation and misinformation. This is malinformation. This is actual information that is known to be false, that is designed to create a malicious response. And because of that, you have all of these little pockets where humanity keeps breaking down, and we forgot how to talk to each other. We've forgotten how to disagree with each other civilly and have a conversation to achieve like minds. Instead, it's we all gather in our little cells and silos, and we don't actually advance on anything. And so why would I have faith in humanity at that point, right? I don't think that that's a possible thing. And so I don't think we would bind together. I don't think that we would overcome the threat. I think that we would find cold comfort as humanity in blaming the other and then just all die angry.
But what if the force that we were opposing was literally above our own? So if it was like Ozymandias, in Watchmen staged Dr. Manhattan, like that's against anyone's religion, anyone's greater purpose of their own humanity, because they're not a benevolent force.
But remember how Ozymandias had to time that, though. We were getting past an inflection point. And if he knew that if we passed that inflection point, that would no longer work.
True, yeah.
That we would have gone past it working. I think we are past that. And that's the problem. Yes, it's a very dark and dystopian view. I understand that. And it's no comfort to think that way. And I do everything I can to have conversations with people personally to try to make it so life isn't like that, and to kind of call out that you're living in an echo chamber. You're not actually learning. You're just reinforcing, beliefs that are either horrible or based on information that is completely incorrect. But that's the thing, is I think we're past that inflection point, the Ozymandias point. I think instead it would just be finger pointing as the bombs fell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doomsday scenarios. Yeah. Always.
Yeah. So
that was dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredibly dark and depressing. But the good news is
well, fuck me, I guess.
The good news is I did prepare some fun doomsday scenario questions to wrap it up with.
Oh yeah.
That's probably a good thing.
Like 5 fun questions. The first one is, if you could bring one apocalyptic world, what would it be and why? My answers to all these are kind of selfish, right? I know you could probably have like really good answers, like maybe a history book, but my answer is A Princess Bride is what I would bring into a post-apocalyptic world with me. I love that book. I've read it multiple times, and I think I would need it if I were to have to enter a post-apocalyptic world. Would it do society good? Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a good question. Because there are practical books that make a ton of sense, like a chemistry book.
There's practical answers to all of these questions, but I did not go practical.
What's
your choice?
I mean, what would I do? I think that as for a book, I would gear towards something that is helpful. So either a natural history book that can identify plants and shit like that, or like a chemistry textbook, so I can create, basically have some knowledge of compounds or something that I can try to do something with. The selfish answer is probably like Shogun. It's got plenty of meat to it. I can read it over and over again.
Sorry, did you say what book would you read? What book would you bring?
Well, yeah, if you could bring one book into a post-apocalyptic world, what would you bring and why? What book?
I thought it was what item. I was going to say.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Book for now.
Book. What have I been reading recently? Been reading a book called The Laws of Power recently, which is quite a ruthless book, which is pretty good. I think that's it. Maybe that's it. The Laws of Power. The Laws of Power would do well in a post-apocalyptic scenario. I think if you were trying to survive.
The title seems like it would.
Yeah, trying to survive as long as possible. Maybe if you want to be a tyrant, that's a book to read. Yeah, I'll say that for now. That's one book I'm reading at the moment, The Laws of Power, which I think is pretty cool in a doomsday scenario. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, me, selfish, just pure enjoyment. Logan, very practical, and Az wants to be a tyrant. so that's-
Tyrannical ruler. Yeah.
Okay, so the
Very
next
Superman
question.
of you. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Next question, Az, here you go. What's one non-essential item that you would 100% be bringing into the apocalypse with you?
All right.
And mine's my stuffed animal because I can't imagine I'd be getting like much good sleep, so I'd at least want like one comforting thing from my bed.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. Yeah. I'd bring Reinhard versus Dorinthia classic battles.
There you go.
Yeah.
You have something to do. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. There we go.
What's the one thing I would bring that's just non-essential?
Yeah.
God, it would have to. You'd want something that can last, at least that has. This is hard because I think it would just be, probably a football,
Yeah.
just something to throw around.
Yeah.
Something to make
The other one would be
games
like, something to do would be the thing. Maybe a board game.
Yeah.
Maybe it would just
Yeah,
be.
yeah, that could be fun.
Maybe it's a copy of, a full copy of Kingdom Death Monster and just set it up on a beach somewhere and just sit there and do that, which is also apocalyptic. So it all fits.
There we go. Yeah.
It's very on theme. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. We're in a post-apocalyptic world without money, so we have to resort back to the barter system. What would you want your barter, like what objects or skills would you use to barter with? I think mine, I said, would be TCG cards because I have a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I am a silver-tongued serpent when it comes to being able to barter or talk or do whatever I need to do to get by. So if you allow me something where I can have a large amount of currency and be able to convert it into additional currency plus the things I need, which is exactly what's going to happen, then yeah, like TCG cards, sure, all day long. Like, I got this. Not a problem. Like, these crush the weeks, solid gold.
Solid gold. Yeah.
Solid gold. That's a whole week of rations right there.
No, this turns into a week of rations, and I trade half of that week of rations for another crush the week. And then I use that crush the week to buy another week of rations, and I have a week and a half of rations. And eventually, I just become a baron.
Off one crush a week.
One crush the week.
Just one. Yeah. I don't know what services I would provide. Maybe I'd try and sing some people to sleep. Maybe. Provide lullabies.
Aren't you a screaming metal singer?
Yeah, I can do a little bit of singing as well every now and again. Yeah.
I've never heard it. I've only heard the screaming metal.
I've only heard the screaming.
Which, like, maybe in a post-apocalyptic world, that is what
It might be
puts people
comfort.
to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, comfort.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Okay. Second to last question. I want you to draft your dream team for surviving the end of the world. You get 5 people, and I drafted mine. There is one fictional person on here, but I still think it counts. And it is the Band of Misfits, I would say, because we
Yeah.
we have Trisha Paytas, Steve Irwin.
Oh, he's dead,
Well,
though.
yeah, but he's alive. He's coming with me. Doesn't matter. Willem Dafoe.
Wow.
Okay.
I just
yeah.
think he'd add some fun. All these, I just was like, yeah, I'd like to be stuck with these people. MacGyver is like my one practical person who's pretty fictional, but that's
Very
okay.
fictional. Yeah.
And Robin Williams, because I
Also
think he'd be
dead.
comforting. Yeah. No, he's here.
Okay. Well, that's a thing, I guess.
I'm gonna be. I will have gone crazy anyway.
Oh,
so, like,
sure.
they might not actually be there, but I'll be like,
Is
yeah,
it-
this is Steve Irwin.
Is it bad that I'm stuck on the Willem Dafoe of it all? Like,
I just felt like the group needed like a little more spunk.
Yeah.
have you ever seen Antichrist?
No.
Okay.
But don't you think? Anyway, that's my
maybe.
5.
Okay, I'm glad that I made the list. Where would I go with this? That's a difficult one. I mean, most of mine are going to be family, right?
Oh, yeah. I did away with all of the people that I know.
yeah, that's fair.
I figured I should like get to know more people if I'm gonna like at least keep it interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would want. I think that it's like I would take because I would take my buddy Phil, 1,000%. He is a former airborne ranger in the Army. Has seen some shit. Very much so. Could get in and out of a situation. Also, pretty good on the mic. He can talk. Like he can definitely talk. So I think that he has to come. I would probably take his brother Gene as well. Again, another Army guy, but this one's a medic.
Oh yeah.
So so a little bit of comfort there. My brother, because I need muscle, and he makes me look like a bitch. And that's exactly the type of thing that we would need in the apocalypse. I know that my cousin Russ is listening to this, and he's not on the list, so he can fucking stop thinking about it. But I am taking his dad. So my uncle Doug, I'm going to take Doug with me because this is all about survival. This isn't about anything else. This is just survival. And I think that even though Doug's old, he's wise at this point in time. He's very outdoorsy and knows kind of how to handle himself, has a lot of skills. And then the other one's my buddy Joe Bach, because Joe is a very smart guy, very boisterous, very over the top and loud, but he's also a pastry chef, an electrician, and a plumber. So if we can find a dwelling that we can rig up, like he's got us covered there. Plus the bitch can cook, and I'm big into cooking. So if I'm going to take 5 people with me that'll get me through what I need to get through to get back to society or whatever. Again, talking about pure survival, not talking about restarting society, because that would be really hard with 6 dudes. That's probably who I'm taking. If I'm going with real people and not fictional characters or dead people.
Yeah.
I'm just here for a good time.
So you're gonna be talking to like action figures and pretending that they're Steve Irwin and Robin Williams.
Yeah, it'll just be me, Trisha Paytas, and Willem Dafoe thinking we're with these 3 other people. Yeah,
I'm surprised it wasn't Chapel Roan in there somewhere for entertainment purposes.
Well, no, we have Trisha Paytas and Willem Dafoe and myself. I think we're gonna like have a grand old time.
Hell yeah!
All right,
nice.
What an interesting bunch, you know. Anyway,
no, it's a very interesting bunch. Not gonna lie, that's a very interesting bunch.
As yourself, you have 5 people.
Yeah. These people, I'll just make a note of them while you guys were chatting. These are the ones that came to my head immediately, and they're all from the UK, or at least one of them is. One of them is like a team of people, anyone from that team, but we'll get on to that. So first of all, Bear Grylls. Do you know who Bear Grylls is?
Oh yeah, I do know who Bear Grylls is.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so he's basically a survivalist. You know, he drinks his own piss to survive when he's out in the wild and swamps and
who
stuff.
Who doesn't? I do that for fun.
Yeah, so he'd be able to.
That's what Logan just did when he went off camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally, yeah.
That's what this is. It's I clearly have had some issues today, but bloody hell. So yeah, Bear Grylls. I'm trying to get platelets back. It's fine.
There we go. So he's a survivalist, so I think he would do well with both application of potential natural medicines and survival and all that sort of thing. I've also got Eddie Hall in here. Do you know who Eddie Hall is?
Oh. Okay.
So Eddie Hall is a former strongman. So he's the one who he set the
squat record.
The squat record, 500 kilograms. So if I was
so fucking much,
it's a ridiculous amount of weight. So if I was ever trapped underneath like a log or something, or like pinned down by loads of zombies or whatever, you could be able to lift me out of there, hopefully. I've got Ricky Gervais in here.
All right.
So very, very controversial, dark comedian in the UK. I think he would just be able to put a hilarious spin on any situation in an apocalypse. No matter how sort of controversial the take was, I think it would be just quite funny to have him around in that sort of environment. I've got David Beckham on here, just for sort of someone to look at, and also someone
That's
to
for restarting the world later, right?
That's right, yeah. So someone to look at, someone to sort of aspire to be, and also he could sort of teach me how to do an amazing free kick or a corner. With all the time that we're going to have in a post-apocalyptic world, being able to sort of practice free kicks with David Beckham would be fantastic. Free kick is like a dead ball situation, for anyone who doesn't know in soccer. And then my last pick would be, because I didn't know the individuals off of this team, but it's anybody from the Team Great Britain archery team. So anybody that's in the archery team of Great Britain, just because that's the country that I'm in, it'd be good to have them on the team as well, because a bow and arrow is something that you could potentially craft, especially if you've got Bear Grylls in your team. You might be able to craft one for you, and then having someone be able to fire it accurately when you don't have access to bullets, because the UK doesn't have much guns around,
right?
Would be good.
I did take there were multiple archers on my team, so
sick.
I do get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be my team. But I just thought off the top of my head. I had a bit of an advantage as well because you guys were chatting, so I had a bit of advantage to write notes down. But there we go.
Well, I really had the biggest advantage, and I probably did the worst. But
if you're happy, you're happy.
Brilliant.
I'm happy though. I think we'd have a good time. I think I'd make surviving the apocalypse better, and I'm really relying on MacGyver and Steve Irwin, the non-existent guy and the dead guy, to carry us through.
Yeah.
But also David Beckham really threw me for a loop.
That one got me. I didn't.
That one got me. Okay, last question. A nice way to wrap things up. If civilization does collapse, or whatever, if it did collapse, what part of modern life would you miss the most?
That's harder.
Yeah, my answer to this, I thought a lot about all the things that I love in life and all the things I would miss. And it came down to a little sweet treat, I think.
Oh yeah.
Is what I'd miss the most. Just being able to go get a little dessert or a little you can see Logan's face.
Just simple things in life.
Yeah, it's the simple things in life. I love just being I want a little macaroon, or I want a tea, or I would love a piece of cake right now. How about a bite of ice cream? How about a popsicle? I'd miss all those moments of just having a little pick me up, a little sweet treat.
Yeah, I would echo that. I do it quite often actually. I'm just I fancy a candy bar or whatever, or a sugary drink or something, and I just pop down the local shop and grab something that I fancy in that moment. Very impulsive. In a world where there is no shops, you won't be able to do that. You won't be able to satisfy those cravings straight away. And I definitely agree with that. It's the small things that you would immediately miss. The accessibility of the world today is insane, right? You can just reach someone immediately via message.
This, we have New York City outside, outskirts of England and the middle of U.S. So
small things for me.
Yeah, it's small things.
Yeah.
This is not going to surprise anybody. Booze.
Oh yeah, booze as well, sure.
I'd miss booze.
Yeah,
I like booze. Booze is great.
Have you got some in your basement?
Fan.
You got some stored away though. You could use.
Of course.
But it's a finite resource.
I have squirreled away alcohol all over the place. There's a bottle of gin there, a bottle of vodka there, a bottle of scotch there. There's beers in the refrigerator underneath me, and that's just my office.
Wow.
So, I keep the bottle of scotch right next to my work desk as a reminder that in case of fire, there is glass I can break. Now, I've been working from home at least 40% of the time or more for 5 years now. And I have never taken a pull out of that bottle during a work day. Now, there have been times within 2 seconds of signing off that bottle got tipped. But never have I ever, while working, I have come very close, including like this past Thursday or whatever. I mean, or whatever, Wednesday. It was a hellacious day. And I was looking at that bottle going, is this the day the bottle wins? Because this is not going great. But I managed. I held strong. But it would definitely be booze. I do love a good drink. I love a good cocktail. I love a good beer. I love the social aspect of it. How a good booze, when it's not problematic, really does bring people together. The common language of having a good time.
Oh god, yeah.
So I would miss that. I would miss the camaraderie of being in those types of situations where you can just have yourself a drink, have a pint, have two, have 12, have 27, whatever you feel like doing at that point in time, and really just kind of having it out. Yeah. So that's what I'd miss the most.
Amen to that.
Yeah, if I wasn't such an introvert, that would probably be my answer, but I think I'd miss more going to break off a tiny piece of Whitaker's whenever I feel
fuck
like
off.
It.
Fuck straight off. She made the chocolate list, as.
Great.
I made the chocolate list. Yeah.
Love it.
God damn it. I mean, I'm so happy for you. I'm just sad that I wasn't in Singapore and I won't get chocolate from Josh Scott again until Philadelphia.
Till Philly, yeah. I would love some more during Philly.
It's good chocolate.
That is the Doomsday episode. I think next time we have Az. It's circles.
It's Az is up. Yep. He is back on the.
I'm back.
You already know what you're gonna do?
No idea as of yet. No. So.
Well.
We'll see. We'll see.
I mean,
we'll see.
We do have a special episode really kind of coming up like right after this. So
yeah.
Because we're about to be on the topic of flesh and blood, so this will be fun. But yeah, well, take us home, Elaine.
Okay. Oh wait, I forgot to do an outro. Yeah, thanks everyone for listening to this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We don't know what the topic will be, but thank you both for joining me. Where can the people find you, Az?
For me, it's Go Again Gaming AZ all over the internet. That's for the flesh and blood stuff. That we're all involved in flesh and blood to some description. I think we might have mentioned that in the first pilot episode. That's how we all know each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the socials, it's Go Again Gaming AZ for everything. That's about it really. And then Go Again Gaming on YouTube. And then on topic of course, like and subscribe, do all that good stuff.
Yeah, like and subscribe. And yourself, Logan.
Yeah, just Logan Peterson everywhere. PETERSEN at the end. That's just the easiest way to find me. You can also find me on our sister shows, sister shows, I should say, at this point in time. Mine is Flesh and Pod. So if you're into the flesh and blood space, that's where you can find me as well. Or you can find these two actually in that space tomorrow if you're watching this on Monday. So yeah, that's a thing. Yeah,
all the links are actually in the description box below, actually, to the socials, so they're all in there. So go and have a look at there, and leave a comment as well on this video because we might start reading out some comments that we get. So if you want to engage with us, then leave a comment, and then we can maybe address it next time. If you're lucky, yeah, if you're lucky. But apart from that, I guess.
Yeah, if it's a good comment.
Yeah, if it's bad.
Elaine, where can they find you? You don't get to dodge this.
You can find me on all the socials at @HamOnTree. Ham on tree, like bacon on bush, pork on shrubbery. And of course, if you're into the flesh and blood space, you can find me on the Pitch Perfect podcast. Also host of the Rainbow Pitch League, and a little bit of everywhere too. Yeah, all over the place. So that's all for this week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye,
See you
folks.
in 2 weeks.
Bye.
See you in 2 weeks. Fuck knows what the topic's going to be, but there we go.